extremely optimistic that he's going to be really, really good coming out of this. I'm a firm believer that a lot of time these things are blessings in disguise, and you sort of reset the deck now, and he gets to realize what's in front of him, and I think that's a good thing. And I also think from our team's perspective, everybody's really excited about tonight. Being here tonight in their ring night is meaningful to us. We're so young that being part of this process tonight can only help set the level of what it is we're shooting for. And this is something that you want young kids to covet. Moments like this, you want young guys to crave. When we had this moment, the team that was watching us, I think, got a lot out of it, and they came back and got their own moment. So this can be a powerful kind of evening. And I know our team's really looking forward to it. So any questions you have?
Do you have any other information on when he did it, how he did it?
We don't actually, and it's one of the things, you know, I've seen a lot of the narrative out there about him that this happened because he's not in shape and he's too big. That kid's a freak of nature. When he went through his physical, he ran on the treadmill longer than the cardio stress test people have ever needed to put anybody through a test to get his heart rate up. That happens because he's touched by the hand of God to do this. He's in elite condition, and he stays in elite condition. He also has a body type that we're learning how to deal with as a 19-year-old kid. He can be 274 pounds and 8.5% body fat. He can be 280 pounds and 9% body fat. As we've gone through this process for our medical team, learning how they're going to keep him lean and giving him the core strength and stability and control he needs to handle all of that torque he generates, typically that means that you're going to do things to strengthen those areas. In this case, he gains muscle mass so fast and gains weight so fast. No one's ever dealt with anybody like him before. So he's 19. It's going to be a learning experience for all of us. But the notion that this happens somehow because Zion's in poor condition is just asinine. He wasn't in poor condition when he went 12 of 13 against Utah, right? That's not what it is. He's just a very unique body type, and certainly from a physics perspective, less weight, less torque is a theory. I get it. But you look at a player like Blake Griffin, who generated enormous torque and had the issues he had in his career. It took a while for him to find stasis in his body, and we think that could be the same with Zion.
How young he is, and you talk about how you want to be careful with how you handle this body. How you guys are going to approach that rehab process?
Yeah, I think, again, as we've done with everything, and as we would with anybody, we're going to be very cautious. You know, this isn't a sprint. You know, Alvin said it to the team today, it's a marathon. And we're going to treat everybody with kid gloves and get them through this in the best way that's the best way for them long term. You know, we put out a timeline of 6 to 8 weeks, knowing Zion and the work rate he has. He's going to be pushing us to play a lot sooner than that. And sometimes our job is to protect guys from themselves. And so we'll see how he goes through, you know, the process. But all the indications are very positive. And it was complicated because he's got such a high pain tolerance and he didn't have any swelling. So even recognizing, to your question, Andrew, when it happened, nobody has any way of knowing because he didn't have any symptoms. So it was a fascinating thing.
When was the first time he did have symptoms? Was it that?
He shared with us after the practice, after the San Antonio game. And that was the first time. So that next practice, we held him out of the live portion, and that's when we got the MRI. But even then, he didn't say he had pain, and he didn't have swelling. So this is a really unique kid for sure.
Hey, have you talked to? I've seen you talk to him. But what's kind of been his, mental state?
Yeah, so I was with him yesterday. His mental state was fantastic going into it. I think he had exactly the right frame of mind. And I think coming out of it, he's in a very good space now. So, again, all the indications are what you would want them to be, and we'll just see how it goes along.
David, you have another rookie, Nikhil Alexander Walker, 9-pound kid, pretty much. What's impressed you, and how lucky were you to get him at 17 in the draft?
Yeah, so Rowan Barrett and I from Team Canada talked. His maturity level is so high as a player. He came into this as a fully formed professional in many ways. I've been around very few 21-year-olds that attack this the way Nikhil does, and his approach is dictating his results right now. He's reaping the benefits of that approach every day. He's a great kid. He's about all the right things, and you see that.
How does this change the rotation and the the way you play ball without Zion?
Yeah, it's funny. I mentioned the thing that I believe these things can often be a blessing in disguise. It's certainly going to get more minutes for people. One of the things that we've talked a lot about as a staff, we're really deep, which is also a euphemism for we don't know who our best players are all the time, right? So you don't know who's going to play. We've got guys that are really, really capable of playing, and I think you've seen throughout the preseason, we played close games and everybody got a chance to play through adversity. So in this situation, I think we'll get more minutes to get a little bit of a feel for everybody, to get everybody into a little bit of a rhythm. So it won't be a bad thing. I think we have so much versatility, length, and athleticism, guys being able to play multiple positions. I think we will start with Brandon playing some 4 and then swinging to the 3, but Brandon Ingram can also play some backup point guard. We've got a really unique team that way. So I think you'll see that as this comes along. Guys like Kenrich Williams that can play multiple positions, that some nights won't have a huge role and some nights will be the reason you win games. And that's one of the things that excites us about our team.